The Washington Aqueduct now has permission to use a chemical to protect our drinking water from algae blooms. You may remember the sudden boil water advisory issued earlier this month in D.C. and parts of Northern Virginia during a heat wave. It was caused by an algae bloom outbreak in the Potomac that has overwhelmed D.C.'s water treatment system. At the time, the Washington Aqueduct got special permission from the EPA to add a chemical to the water to get rid of those blooms. Well, now the agency will be able to do that whenever they need to. The goal is to prevent the need for advisories like the one we saw earlier this month. All right, let's bring in meteorologist Caitlin McGrath. And Caitlin, I know we've had perfect conditions for these algae blooms to actually grow again.
Yeah, unfortunately, and those algae blooms like two things. They like really hot temperatures and they like a certain amount of rain. So let's first talk about the temperatures because we have seen some really significant heat throughout the month of July. Right now, we are on track for a top 5 hottest July on record, currently sitting in 4th place. But notice just how close all of these years are. Number 1, 2011, average high temperature, so taking the high and low temperature from each day for the month, averaging it out 84.5, 84 degrees in 2012, 83.9 in 2020. I do think we'll likely stay in 4th place at 83.8 degrees for an average temperature for the month of July. Now, when it comes to rain, we look at two things. Whenever we have not a whole lot of rain, you have really stagnant water that allows those algae blooms to grow. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, when you have too much rain, you can get a lot of storm water runoff that can run things like fertilizers and harmful chemicals into the water that act as nutrients to help fuel those blooms. So we've kind of been on both sides of things in terms of rainfall over the past several weeks. And Leslie, you know there has been no shortage of heat.